Hey guys, welcome to another Cigar Chat brought to you live on CigarFederation.com. Broadcast around the world in the Armed Forces Radio Network. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are out there in the world today. We appreciate you taking the time to hang with us. This is Robbie Raz from Cigar Federation here with you as always. In sunny California, Logan, you are here with us as always as well. That didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but we'll keep going. You got a straggler there with you. What's going on, brother?
I do, man. I got back to America last night from the land of India, and then I have a Canadian show up at my front doorstep. I don't know. It's weird. He was on the show last week, and then he just shows up in America, thinks he belongs here, I guess. I don't know.
Back-to-back shows. We've got Cigar Surgeon joining us.
He just wants his green card.
Are they even giving work visas anymore?
Not to Canadians,
Not
man.
to Canadians,
No,
bro.
I don't like their kind.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys are shifty. Shifty. It's hard to trust somebody who's like nice and polite. Speaking of being polite, I'll go on a tangent here real quick. Yesterday, I'm on BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit. It's like our Metro or Muni or whatever, and it's a crowded train. And I'm on the way back from the Giants game, and I have a seat, and a woman gets on the train, and I stood up to offer her my chair. She got mad. Like I couldn't. Like I was insulting her by giving her my chair. So I just stood up, and then some other guy just sat down. I was mad. But that's like, people can't trust you if you're being polite. I don't get it. Anyway, we'll move on. We've got crickets. I killed the show already.
It's a great story. Great story.
Whatever, dude. We've got Justin here from Lou Rodriguez Cigars. Justin, thanks for taking the time, man.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And thanks for putting up with my my very boring stories that we started out the show with. I normally don't do that.
That might have been the longest story ever. Not gonna lie.
I brought that out just for you. So you're joining us live from you're in North Carolina, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I'm at our warehouse, the Lou Rodriguez Cigars headquarters here. So.
Cool. I got a question right off the bat. It's LER Cigars, right?
That's correct.
What does the E stand for?
Ernesto.
Oh, okay. Is that Lou's middle name, or is it someone else?
It is. It is. So his name is Luis Ernesto Rodriguez, and with the advice from our label designer Manny Iriarte, he not so politely told Lou that there was enough Ernestos in the cigar industry, and so that he cut it down to Lou Rodriguez and not Lou Ernesto Rodriguez. So we took his advice, and I think he was correct in that.
That's good advice. That's okay. I was just curious. So let's get started, man. We yes, Jose in the chat room says that I'm a sweetheart, and I am. I mean, she was a woman. She wasn't super old, but you know, I wanted to give her my seat. Chivalry, right? It's not dead, but she got all pissed off about it. Anyway,
At least death rattle.
What's that?
You know, right before somebody dies, they have the death rattle.
I do.
That's what chivalry is.
Yeah. I read something that chivalry died the same day that being ladylike died, or something to that effect, which kind of go hand in hand. But we're way off topic. Anyway, okay, so let's Justin, let's get back to actually talking about some cigars. This is the first time we've been able to chat with you guys on the show, so give everybody some background on the company as a whole and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, sure. Again, I'm happy to be here, and thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. I guess the short version would be, Lou is a Cuban American doctor, and his godfather and uncle run our factories in Esteli, Nicaragua, and in Miami. And he put himself through medical school and developed a pretty successful practice here in North Carolina. And once he got everything established in the medical field, he decided to get back into the cigar industry to kind of build his family name back up, kind of as a legacy to his father and his mother, who are both from Cuba. And that was the beginning of our story. It's been a unique story, but we've been pretty proud of the work we've done so far.
Cool. Now, how did you get involved?
That's another long story. I I come from a family of tobacco farmers. My mother is a full-blooded Cherokee from the Native American tribe, and her father was a tobacco farmer here in North Carolina, cigarette tobacco. So I remember as a kid being exposed to tobacco, going to tobacco auctions and stuff. I remember my grandfather would pull up in his 1956 Ford and would blow the horn a couple times, and my mom would be yelling at me not to go because she didn't want me, to ever smoke cigarettes or chew tobacco or anything, and I would run out of the house and go. So I was always exposed to tobacco from a very young age. I went on and went to college, and at the time I was a junior in college, and I had this girlfriend from Connecticut, and I was madly in love, as we all are as juniors in college. And she graduated a year before I did, and she said, "So we're going to have this long distance relationship, right?" And I said, "Yeah, we're going to try." And she said, "Well, you're going to need to fly out to see me." And I said, "Absolutely." She's like, "How are you going to do that?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" She's like, "You're broke, you don't have a job, and you have no money." And me being so in love, the way I was, I said, I got to find a way to make some money so I can pay for plane tickets to see my girlfriend. And I was browsing online, and I found this ad that said, looking for a marketing student to help with ideas to generate for a startup cigar company. And immediately, my brain linked back to my grandfather and having a history of tobacco, and I said, this is something I can do. And as Lou tells it much more eloquently than I do, he had about 15 people apply for the job, and I was the only one that showed up to the interview with actual ideas to build the brand. And man, he hired me on the spot. That was about 5 years ago, and we've both grown from there and grown the brand, and it's been pretty amazing.
That's so you showed up with ideas, and that's what got you the gig. That's funny. I like that.
Right, and I think me and the girl that I was dating at the time are no longer together, but a big part of me, I feel indebted to her. That if it wasn't for her polite encouragement to get a new that I.
Oh, did we just lose him? We did.
He gone.
He just dropped out. We'll get him back in.
Well, dude, while he was saying that, it's funny because I always say that about my ex-girlfriend too, is that, she wanted me to move down to Austin. We're no longer together. But without her, I would have never moved to Austin. I would have never taken the job with my current company, and I never would have met Allie, my wife.
I can echo that story with, hopefully this story isn't as boring as my last one. The girl I dated predominantly through college, she was a graphic designer, and I saw the classes that she was taking. I'm like, you're taking pictures and you get to draw stuff for school. Like, that's it. And so I decided to switch my major to graphic design, and that's what I do for a living. And my wife is the one who bought me my first humidor. So there you go. And just so we can do some filler, Logan, are you going to keep track of the time so we can somehow fix this?
Right now.
Okay. Maybe pause it. I'm smoking which one am I smoking? I'm smoking the Reserva Maduro. It's actually, this is the first time I smoked it. It's pretty good. It's got a nice spice that settles on the tongue. It's not creamy, so you guys can all kiss my ass.
Oh, you cussed.
We're cutting all this out anyway. None of this is going on the radio. We're just going to go right back and
just make the second segment longer then, basically?
Well, when he comes back, assuming he comes back.
We'll just come in like it's our second segment.
Yeah, there you go. He just jumped him right in.
All right, let's pretend we're going to a break, and we'll do our next segment.
And we're going to make the next segment really long. Is that the plan?
Like 19 minutes, yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. The thing went to screensaver.
No, that's fine. So we're going to go. We're just going to go to break right now, and then we'll come back, and we'll do our second segment. Will be a longer. So, all right, guys, we'll be back with you right after this break. Hey guys, welcome back to Cigar Chat, brought to you live on CigarFederation.com, broadcast around the world, the Armed Forces Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are today. I hope that you are all out there staying safe. We're here with Justin from Lou Rodriguez Cigars, talking about all kinds of different stuff. We're going to get into the cigars and the blends here pretty quick. Logan, this segment is brought to us by who?
This next segment is brought to us by none other than Lou Rodriguez Cigars. If you guys haven't checked them out, we actually put them in the store today. We have all of their lines except for their limited edition. And just because we're nice fellas and individuals, if you go to store.cigarfederation.com and look under the show specials tab, all of their products through Sunday is 10% off. An instant off, you'll see it right there. Knock it out, buy now, Cigar Federation, store.cigarfederation.com. Back to you, Roberto.
Just to, that deal is just 3 days? It's going to be up for 3 days, is that what you said?
Monday, basically, yeah.
So over the weekend, I'm smoking the Edición Reserva right now, Maduro. Very tasty. And I was just getting into this earlier. Nice spice, kind of settles on the tongue, and a kind of a classic Maduro profile. I think I've got the I'm smoking the Toro here, I think. Very good cigar, and even with this, I mean, a 5-pack of these is what, like $27. So
Nothing.
yeah, I mean, the price point is there. So if you haven't tried any of this Lou Rodriguez stuff, we got the Lou Rod, the Snub Nose, all that stuff in there too. So if you haven't tried it, definitely give it a shot. It fits right into everybody's profile. It's gonna fit right into your wallet as well. Okay, so let's your wallet, your budget fits right into your budget. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You don't act like I'm professional. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sure the chat room is blowing up with that now that I finally admitted that I don't know what I'm doing.
Admitted it publicly, finally.
Yeah, it's about time. So Justin, we talked a little bit about your background, a little bit about the background of the company itself. So let's get into some of these blends. I mean, like I said, we just added them all to the store, and on the market right now that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blends. Well, 5 blends really, because the Snub Nose and the Lou Rod are the same, just different sizes. So you kind of have everything, something that's going to hit every palate. So can you give us a little bit of a rundown on each of the blends, maybe starting with the most mild and then ending with the most full body?
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, we originally started out as a Maduro-only company. The Premier line was the first cigar that we ever made. It was our flagship line, and it's I would say it's a typical Nicaragua Maduro. And when I say typical, that means it's in my opinion, it's a great Maduro. The binder and filler come from our farms in Jalapa. We use a little Ometepe. Some Condega, and the wrappers are San Andres Mexican wrapper in the Premier and in the Reserve. The way to differentiate between the Reserve and the Premier line is the Reserve line has a little more Ligero in it, so it's a little more full body. You get some of the same flavor characteristics, that dark chocolatey espresso, a little bit of pepper, but with the Reserve with more Ligero, you get a little bit more of a robust strength in there. I would say that the Premier is probably the mildest cigar that we make. The Maduro wrapper a lot of times scares people off that are new to cigar smoking. They assume when they see a dark cigar, they think that it's a full body, a full strength cigar. Mm-hmm. Lou's focus with that line was more on flavor than strength, so it's surprisingly a very easy smokable Maduro cigar. On the flip side of that, we did things kind of in reverse. Our Connecticut line, which is traditionally a milder cigar, we actually kicked up. Lou was not a very big Connecticut smoker, but his godfather in the factory, in only a way that he could do it, told Lou, you cannot go to the IPCPR show and have one cigar, one line. You have to have a Connecticut. And Lou said, well, if I'm going to make a Connecticut, I'm going to make a Connecticut that I would smoke. So we've kind of coined the phrase a smoker's Connecticut, and in my opinion, it's a very full-bodied Connecticut. It's got a lot of pepper, a lot of kick to it, and the Connecticut wrapper kind of mellows all of that out. So it's a great Connecticut to me for people that maybe don't smoke Connecticut's all the time. It's not something I would recommend to a novice cigar smoker. So that would be, I would say, a medium-bodied. The Reserve is a medium to full, and our Habano fits somewhere in between the Reserve and the Premier. It's got some pepper to it. The Habano Rosado has a creaminess to it as well. But all of our cigars seem to play off of each other really well. And like I mentioned before, it's nothing on a strength level that's going to knock your socks off. Nothing will kill your palate. It's very smokable cigars, which Lou is the kind of guy that smokes, 7 to 8 cigars a day. So he didn't want something that he would smoke and would kill his palate for the rest of the day. So I tell him all the time that we were very fortunate that a majority of the country had the same flavor profile as his, because up until the Lou Rod line, we had only made what Lou would smoke, and so we kind of, we didn't make it as easy for us as we could have. But fortunately, people share his flavor profile.
It's funny. I met Lou a couple of years ago at an event in California, at the Crush and Roll event in Paso Robles, and it was. Yeah, they do a good job down there. Doc Diaz puts that on. They do a really good job. And he was the first person that I talked to that morning, and I was there with my wife, and my wife has family in North Carolina, so we had a lot to talk about. And he said, "Oh, you got to smoke a cigar." He said, "Have you smoked anything yet?" I said, "No." He said, "Okay, well, I'll give you this one." And he actually gave me, and now that I'm remembering it, he gave me the which one is this? This is the Reserva, which is, like you said, your strongest cigar. And he gave me that one for the first one to smoke in the morning. And so that just tells you a little bit about, like you were saying, about his palate. But this is the second time that I've smoked it, and I am actually enjoying it.
Question.
Oh, Logan wants to jump in. Go ahead.
How does Lou, being a doctor, unless he smokes in a non-smoke-free hospital, smoke 7 to 8 cigars a day? Please explain this to me.
Well, that's a very good question. Fortunately for Lou, he's a board-certified ER physician. So, and typically he works a night shift from about 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. So by 7 p.m., he's pretty much smoked a good amount of cigars throughout the day, and I think he actually enjoys going to the ER now because it kind of gives him a break from smoking. So it might be good for his health that he is in the ER as often as he is. But yeah, and most of your ER physicians only work X amount of shifts a month, so he has some time off and some things that I usually try to monopolize and get him on the road and things like that. So, but yeah, he has some time to smoke cigars.
Okay. Well, I was just curious. And then my next question is, a follow-up, is that, the Premier, and you've got all your editions, but the Lou Rod, I mean, I can't help but think the Lou Rod is named after Lou's Tallywhacker. I mean, I can't help but think that. I mean, is this symbolism or what here?
Oh, my goodness.
It shows you. Is this not supposed to be you, Justin? I don't know.
Awkward.
I was told before this interview we had to keep it somewhat like PG rated, because I could get into a hole.
But you can use Tallywhacker.
Wait. It's all illusion and reference.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a marketing campaign at one time that said "Put a Lou Rod in your mouth," but that didn't go over too well.
Oh man, this is fantastic.
But no, the Lou Rod, man, the Lou Rod has been great, and basically we have such a tremendous group of people that love our brand and are committed to what we do. And instead of saying, "Hey, there's Lou Rodriguez," a lot of people started calling him El Rod or Lou Rod, and then we had some guys from the CRA, Patrick Carr, Glenn Loop, and them that started this thing called FOL, Friends of Lou. And so at the time, I was not yet the VP of the company. I was just the marketing director, and I said, I'm going to use some of these terms of endearment here to our benefit. And I said, we should come out with a line that was called the Lou Rod. And I said we should make it, a big ring gauge non-box press cigar, because it's the only thing that we don't offer. And in my travels, I had people that loved our sticks that said, hey, I want something that is at an entry-level pricing that's a big ring gauge, something that we don't do. And it took me about 3 years to convince Lou to blend it. But he finally did, and man, it's turned out to be one of our most successful lines. And Lou was very clear in the beginning. He told me, he said, if this thing flops, I'm blaming you.
And you're fired.
But if it's a success, I'm taking all the credit. So, which I was okay with. But it's I had to nudge him along for a while, and we finally made it, and it's just been wonderful. Everybody loves it.
So you're telling me that along with being a surgeon, Lou is also a politician?
Very much so. Very much so.
It's good to know. So yeah, let's talk about the Lou Rod. I mean, that's the cigar when we talk about things from a social media standpoint, because that's where we live. I mean, this is where we are on the website. We're online all the time and things like that. And that's the cigar that I see the most represented the most online, and Instagram, things like that. And that's just been a huge success for you guys. And you're expanding that line with the Jawbreaker. We've got some questions in reference to the Jawbreakers. This is when Dave Nichols.
No.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, we've actually got some pre-release that we're going to give away. And that's okay. So that's it right there that you're holding up.
That's correct. Now we haven't. We're going to add another band to it to help differentiate it from the original Lou Rod. But we are, like I said, you guys got the cigar before anybody else in the country. So we're working on it band-wise to get it ready for the show.
Well, I think the wrapper does a pretty good job of differentiating the two.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised. I've had people that couldn't tell the difference between our Habano and our Connecticut, and sometimes I don't know. I guess it's the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So yeah. I have to put myself in a novice cigar smoker that doesn't understand the difference there. But visually, you would think they would be easily identified.
Yeah. For you guys listening on the podcast or on AFRN, the Lou Rod it's got a sun-grown wrapper on it, so it's more of like a golden brown. And the Jawbreaker has what appears to be a very dark Maduro wrapper. I don't know what kind of wrapper it is, but it's a very dark chocolate brown, so they don't look the same at all. They have the same band, but
it's broadleaf, right?
Say that again?
It looks like broadleaf.
Are we disclosing any of that? Not
You
yet.
don't have to. I mean,
We can just guess.
No, it's broadleaf.
Can we mute Logan's mic there for a minute or something?
We can neither confirm nor deny that it has a broadleaf wrapper on it, but
Hey, don't trust me.
we, like I said, we do have some that we're going to give away. We're going to do some pre-release reviews on that on CigarFederation.com as well. So another question here from
Let the Canadian talk. Canadian.
Oh, go! Wow, I forgot you were even here.
Ouch.
You're so polite.
We kind of glossed over, I think, an important thing Justin was talking about earlier, and you were talking about the fact that you grow your own tobacco, which is a little unique for a lot of manufacturers. They don't grow their own tobacco. Can you talk a little bit about that, a little more about that?
Absolutely. One of the things I feel that really differentiates us from a lot of the other boutiques in the industry is we are vertically integrated, and which is a huge benefit to us as a small company, with owning our factory, with the factory being run by Lou's relatives, and owning the farms that we do in Jalapa and in Esteli. It gives us the ability to control everything from seed to shelf, which is huge when you're in the boutique market, because as I'm sure you guys have heard, a lot of the times a boutique will come out with something really great and cannot maintain the consistency, the flavors, the draw, the burn. And I feel that we have an advantage in that area, that if something is not up to our standards, we don't have to push it through production, because we're not getting the cigars, packaged and shipped and landing on our doorstep. We're in the factories, we're in the farms, we're doing the blending, we're controlling every aspect of our brand. And that's a tremendous benefit to us as a company.
And ultimately, you would have the ability then to do blends for others.
That's correct. That's correct. And we are venturing out this year at that was a very good segue there.
Trust these Canadians, man. They're sneaky.
No, it almost sounded planned.
Man, I know it's that was very good. We are launching our very first private label this year at the IPCPR. We've got a guy by the name of Kevin Jones, who is a jazz musician from Pittsburgh, and has since relocated to North Carolina, and he's launching his own brand called K-Label Cigars, and we have blended the cigars for him, and it will be distributed by us and produced from our factory, and really excited about it. And for me, it's a step in the right direction, because not only does it validate what we've done as a company, that we're at the level to where we can produce private labels for other people, but I think it'll be good for Kevin as well, that he can kind of use what we've grown to help better his brand. So we're really excited about that, and it's going to be something completely different from our line. So I think I only expect good things to come from this.
You said that Kevin is a jazz musician. What instruments does he play?
He was a drummer.
Oh, drummer. Okay.
Yeah. He's as I like to refer to him, he's a cool cat. So I think he's like a 5th degree black belt.
You know, it's so funny when you said that he's a cool cat. I was gonna say, wow, I don't know why I thought black belt. That's weird.
Yeah. And
there's no correlation.
He's about 6'3", 250. So he's a good guy to have around. And I just hope that nobody tells him to his face they don't like his cigar, because they might be in for a punishment there.
No, I'll bet that he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
Oh, he is. He is. I tell him all the time that I'm about 20 pounds away on my bench press from just tossing him across the warehouse. But he doesn't seem too intimidated by that. So
yeah, for the record, we met Kevin before the show started, and I can confirm that statement is not true.
Not at all.
That's okay. So let's. I want to get back to the. I'm sorry, John. Are you done? Do you have any more questions?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You can feel free to jump in whenever you like. I don't mean to run over you.
Talk over me next time.
That's fine. I talk over everybody. I told you I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So to get back to the Jawbreaker a little bit, we had some questions from Dave Nichols. So give us some. You can't tell us too much about the blend. We can speculate that it's a broadleaf wrapper. What's the sizing on it?
Okay, it is a 6x64. The binder and filler consists of some jalapa, some condega, some esteli, which is typical from our brand. The cool thing about this is, success builds upon success, and Lou blended the Lou Rod, the 6x60, specifically for that size. So, as you guys know, every line has its perfect vitola. Whether it's a Robusto or a Toro, and you have this blend, and then you make sizes to fit that blend. So with the Lou Rod, we did things a little different. We specifically made a 6x60, and then we added the snub nose, which is a 4.5x60, that the blend fit really well. Now, both of those were sun-grown wrappers. With this Jawbreaker being our first Maduro wrapper in that line, Lou went back and blended specifically for this 6x64. Lou and I are both not the biggest ring gauge smokers. We both prefer, our Panatellas, our Lanceros, and Coronas and stuff. But the cool thing about it is blending this cigar to fit that specific size is something that I can smoke on a regular basis and really enjoy. You do have to get used to the larger ring gauge, but the flavor and the consistency is there that I think enjoy it, even if they're not typical big ring gauge cigar smokers.
Okay. We'll get into because we have a lot of questions about the ring gauge, and we've talked about that a lot here on the show. So we'll get into that right on the other side of this break. Hey, Logan, when you're not talking, can you mute? Because there's a lot of feedback coming from you.
No.
Thank you. Hey, guys, welcome back to Cigar Chat, brought to you live on CigarFederation.com, broadcast around the world on the Armed Forces Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in. wherever you are today. We appreciate everything you guys are doing out there for us, keeping us safe. We've got Justin here from Lou Rodriguez Cigars. We're talking about the upcoming Lou Rod Jawbreaker. Logan, go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us who this next segment's brought to us by.
This next segment's brought to you by Screw You, Rob. It's the store.cigarfederation.com. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out our store. We carry craft cigars, stuff much like, you know, Lou Rod and others that you can't necessarily get around the country, but you see on social media and you hear about from your friends. But maybe you can't pick up in your local shop because you live out in the middle of BFE, Montana. But we will ship to you.
Including Canada.
And we will ship to Canada. This guy knows because we've shipped to him before. But yeah, check it out. We're going to be bringing a lot of cool products into the store the next month. I'm not going to say what, but some super secret squirrel stuff that we found in the warehouse. Check it out, store.cigarfederation.com.
And for all you guys listening on Armed Forces Radio Network, we ship to APOs and FPOs as well. So feel free to place those orders. As we like to say, just go ahead and buy now. Okay, so let's. So with this fascination with big ring gauges, we talk about it a lot. But you know, you guys, what you were saying just before the break, that you blend specifically for that size, is interesting because I mean, we talked, like we had Jose Blanco on last week and talked about a lot of people will think that a bigger cigar is going to have more flavor, it's going to be stronger. Much like you said earlier, that people think a dark wrappered cigar is going to be stronger, which isn't necessarily true. And with the 6x60, it's in fact not true because you're getting, it's going to be very, very different. So with these, you're blending for a 6x60 or a 64x60. What was the impetus behind that decision to specifically blend for those sizes?
Well, we with creating the Lou Rod, the original 6x60, and the success that it had, we developed the idea that this line, since it's so unique compared to our other lines, that we should have something in that 60 ring gauge with every Vitola in that line. So we had the natural progression to something that was the same ring gauge, but if someone didn't have the 2 hours to smoke, but they like a 60, which resulted in the snub nose. And then I guess our next step with that was only to go a little bit larger, because when you have the 4.5x60 and then the 6x60, now we were very hesitant to get into something that was too big, just because when you get your cigars to a certain ring gauge, you're naturally going to have some burn issues. You know, you've got a lot of filler. So the 64 fit what we wanted to do with still the flavor profile that we wanted. I don't foresee us ever releasing something bigger than a 6x64, but I feel that with what our vision was for that Lou Rod line, that with having those 3 Vitolas, it gives us a good range of cigars there that would be appealing to somebody that maybe wants something a little bit larger than what they're used to from our brand.
Okay, no, that's a good answer. You know, it's funny with the Lou Rod, it gets rave reviews. I smoked it recently. Of your line, it's not my favorite, but it's people are loving that size. They're loving that blend. I'm very curious with this 64, man. That's a big ring gauge for me to smoke. I've never smoked a 64. I've never smoked anything bigger than a 60, and I don't smoke 60s very often. But I'm definitely curious to give it a try. Logan, you're creeping forward. You got a question? Go.
Don't lie. You smoked something bigger than that. Giggity. That's all I got.
Okay. No, I actually haven't. I've got. We had some from a previous show. It's a 7x70, but I just can't. That's comically large for me.
Well,
I just can't do it.
I think something that I've emphasized to people across the country is we are a small ring gauge company that is making a larger ring gauge. So we are making this larger ring gauge as best as we can to appeal to people that wouldn't typically smoke something that large. So the flavor is going to be a lot different than some of the other big ring gauge cigars that are on the market. And we did step out of our comfort zone a little bit in blending that cigar, But if you're a big ring gauge cigar person, I think that this cigar would definitely become part of your rotation in that big ring gauge selection there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, when I said that you're getting rave reviews, it's from guys, and I'll name them by name. I mean, guys like Seth from Seth's Humidor, Coop, Cigar Coop, friends of the show for sure, and they're not normally big ring gauge smokers, and they loved it. So
they went crazy over it, actually.
Seth has no palate. Screw that guy.
Well, also too, guys, when you get a 6x60 that retails for about $6.25 average across the country, it's hard to disappoint. And that was our first try at entry level pricing. And Lou doesn't like the word cheap, and he doesn't like the word, he doesn't like big ring gauges. So for something to be a big ring gauge and less expensive, as we like to say, was a huge leap for us as a brand. But it has just been met with tremendous success, and people seem to really, really like it. So I'm very proud of the fact that we were able to produce something out of our typical realm of expertise there, and it to be received so well.
Yeah,
and now we all know that it was your idea. Right? So, I mean, that doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt. John, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think there's a tendency to want a particular line regardless of the cost. And Justin, I think it is important. There's a lot of cigars, or a lot of cigar smokers out there, and we have a lot of them on SigFed that are driven by price first. And if you can deliver a cigar that provides the flavor at a particular price point, I don't think that can be undervalued. That is important to a lot of cigar smokers. Everybody can't go out and just drop $10, $15 on a cigar. I mean, they're going to make a decision based on price sometimes. So I think that's important.
You're absolutely right. And we kind of had a little bit of a blessing and a curse with launching our brand nationally in 2011. Unfortunately, we were right in the middle of an economic downfall, and there's a lot of people that were struggling, and cigars went from being something that it's always a luxury item, but went from people buying their typical $10, $12 cigars to somebody that maybe bought a handful of your $4 and $5 sticks and maybe smoked a $10 one on the weekend. So we kind of launched our brand right in the middle of that crisis, and fortunately for us, we were able to understand that and basically launch something, as Lou calls, a cigar for the people. Something that people could afford on a daily basis, and something that would give you a big bang for your buck. As Lou's godfather would say, there's a lot of people out there, if you can't land a 747 on their cigar, they don't want it. So we listened to that, and you got to offer something for everybody. And I feel that was a big step for our brand in offering that.
So you've led pretty well into my next question. This is a question from Mike Puzin. Mike, I don't know if I say your last name right. I really hope I do. He says your website states, quote, "We are targeted to exclusive, well-defined, and mature cigar smokers," end quote, according to his question here. He says, are those the smokers that are going to best get or understand or appreciate your blends that you're putting together? And the follow-up question to that is, would an everyday cigar smoker enjoy your products the same way, and why?
Oh, that's a very good question. I need to update our website also with that. But yes, we originally started out as a very traditional Cuban-based company. But I've told people this for the last several years. I truly feel that everything we offer can appeal to several different degrees of the cigar smokers. We have our Connecticut's, like I mentioned earlier, that is a Connecticut that would appeal to somebody that doesn't typically smoke Connecticut's, that wants full flavor. Our Maduros are blended in a way that I've had several people come up to me and say, I don't typically smoke Maduros. I've only been smoking for a couple months, but I really love your Maduro. I was just in Virginia Tech at Blacksburg Pipe and Tobacco a couple weeks ago for a Kentucky Derby event, and I had about 50 college students from the university there come up to me and go, I can smoke your cigars, and I don't get lightheaded. It doesn't kill my palate. I feel still refreshed afterwards. And so I really think that we had a very good vision, whether we knew it or not at the time, is that we blended cigars that could be smoked by several different people. And with the Reserve line and all the Mano Negra, it kind of appeals to more of the full-bodied smokers. And with the Habanos and the Premiers and the Lou Rod, it is something that you could smoke on a daily basis, and you wouldn't feel like you needed to take the rest of the evening off and not have another cigar. It's everything we do is focused on flavor, and I think that's been one of the things we've done right from the very beginning is that we appeal to somebody that wants to enjoy a cigar but doesn't want to have recovery time after smoking it.
Yeah, no, that's it's a good point. I'm I'm more of a medium strength, full flavor guy, but I'm smoking, like I said before, the Reserva, which you had just mentioned is it's got the extra Ligero in it. It's for the stronger bodied, stronger strength smokers that out there. For me, this is a damn good cigar. I'm really, really enjoying it, and I like a good Maduro, and it's got that classic Maduro profile to it. It's a little bit more. I mean, you guys don't characterize it this way, and most of the reviews that I've seen don't really characterize it this way. But there's a really nice, even spice that settles on the tongue throughout the whole smoke, and I'm really, really enjoying that. Playing with the sweetness from the wrapper. It's a really nice cigar. I'm enjoying it. And
well, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. No, and this is my first cigar of the day, and I will chase it. I might even chase it with another one. I've got one more, so I might follow it up with another one. It's really good. And I was pairing it earlier. The glass is empty now, but with some Jameson Reserve, and it was quite a nice pairing. Although I think this might go a little bit better with some rum, something with a little bit more sweetness in it.
Oh yeah, if you get some Florida Caña with that or some Zacapa, you're good to go. But I think that to add to what you said, we found that the San Andreas wrapper with our binder and filler just creates a perfect pairing. And it's just, for me as a Maduro guy, and that it just fits everything that I want out of a Maduro cigar.
Yeah, and Fat Kid, it is not creamy. They give me a hard time. They say that everything's creamy, which is not true. If it's a creamy cigar, I'll say it's creamy. I almost paired this with some Florida Caña. I've got some Florida Caña 12 and I've got some 18 on the bar, and I almost grabbed some 12, but I wanted something with a little more. I don't know. I didn't want so much sweetness, but in retrospect, I would do that. I'll get to that later. But Logan, you're going to chime in, I can tell.
No, I was going to chime in and say we're done.
Oh, yeah, wow, we're out of time. Well, that was quick.
Oh,
Justin, we appreciate you taking the time. Had a great time chatting with you. Looking forward to meeting with you in Vegas this year. Thanks again for taking the time to meet with us. Let everybody know where they can find you. I mean, everybody knows that they can, if your local shop doesn't carry Lou Rodriguez, you can find him here at store.cigarfederation.com. But let everybody know where they can find you online.
Right. You can find us online through our Facebook page, Lou Rodriguez Cigars. You can also, we've got our Twitter account, Lou Rod Cigars. I've got my Twitter account, JustinTime11. We're available online through those venues, through you guys as well. We've been pretty selective in who we've allowed to carry us online. And also your brick and mortar shops. We're all across the country. We're in about 40 states nationwide. So we are definitely available out there. And I'd like to give a shout out, if I could, as someone who was born and raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina, at Fort Bragg. My father was 82nd Airborne. I just would like to give a shout out to the troops. I have several of my friends who are stationed all over the world, and we do our part to send cigars to those guys. So we definitely appreciate what they're doing for us and keeping us safe and allowing guys like us to smoke good cigars and in the safety of our country and do things like this as well. We owe a big debt of gratitude to those guys who are fighting for our freedoms here.
For sure. Well said. Logan, you going to chime in? Say goodbye to everybody? Logan's being quiet today. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Whatever you guys are doing out there, we appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. I'm not sure who our guest is next week, but you guys will find out when you tune in next week.
Yeah, basically.
Everybody, yeah, stay safe and have a good weekend.
And we're fucking back.
So Justin, like I told you, you can now say fuck, shit, bitch, cock.
Oh, yeah.
You can say all that stuff now. So.
Well, the whole interview, I've been wanting to tell Logan what a fucking asshole he was, but
That's rude.
Can I just say that, Justin, right now, you're my favorite guest that we've ever had. That's perfect. That was brilliant.
You love me. That's all that matters.
No, that was brilliant. So, guys, we'll get to these giveaways here in a minute. I know we've got a couple boxes, and I don't know if, Logan, are we breaking that other one up into 5-packs, or what are we doing with that?
Well, the Fed heads like 5-packs, even though I just want to state for the record, it's a bigger pain in my fucking ass to ship out 4 5-packs than it is a box. But Fed heads, because I love you.
Well, that's what we'll do.
We'll do.
And whoever wins the grand prize is going to get some of those Jawbreakers as well, pre-release. So you'll get those before anybody else.
Hey guys, I wanted to mention to you too, since you're going to be at the show, and we didn't have time to get to it. We're releasing a pretty good amount of new sticks this year. We've got the La Mano Negra that I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with. Was only available to our top 13 shops across the country last year. I sold about 1,000 of those boxes in 45 minutes.
Wow.
We are making that a permanent part of our line that will be available around the holiday season, right before Thanksgiving. We're pre-selling that at the show this year. And we've also got the first cigar that I had a hand in blending called the Double Nickel that we're releasing as well. And we're currently working on a cigar called La Mano Dios, that is the Hand of God, that Lou's working on with a pretty, I would say, a pretty gigantic name in the industry, which I won't disclose at the moment, but it'll be a very good collaboration for our brand. So we've got some really exciting things that will be happening at this year's show.
Nice. I'm disappointed we didn't get into this stuff earlier, but we'll have you guys back on after the show, and we'll do some interviews and stuff at the show as well if you've got some time, so we can go into some of that stuff in a little bit more detail. I do want to take a quick second to tell Fat Kid to stop being a kiss ass and telling Logan that he loves him. So we still have some questions that we got to get through. Justin, I know you got to run here pretty soon. So what?
Okay, man. Whatever you want to get to, I'm here.
So let's see. So this is you're talking. You've got your first. Okay. This is kind of a common question, but I'll ask it anyway. If you were to reach, this is from Chuck. He says, if you're going to reach into your own personal private humidor, and since we're off the radio air now, we're still on air. People can hear you. What are you reaching for that's not yours? That's not I should say not yours. They're all going to be yours if they're in your humidor, but not a Lou Rodriguez blend.
Right. I always seem to get this question.
Everybody wants to know.
Very, very fair question. As always, and I know this sounds so cliche, but I really do. I love our brand, and I smoke our cigars. And it's easy when you have a warehouse with hundreds of thousands of sticks for free that you can smoke on. But when I travel, I love to support other boutique brands. And usually when I go to cigar shops and I pass out cigars, I usually try to purchase some cigars from that retailer as well. And typically I will go with other boutiques such as Viaje, Tatuaje, Frank Herrera Biography, Clint Aaron from 262. He's a great guy. I really enjoy his sticks. And I'm sure you guys are the same way. We're the 1%ers, and I'm typically buying Panatellas and Lanceras and Coronas. Padron is in there as well. I love their 40th anniversary. Of course, being a Nicaraguan-based brand, Padron is kind of someone we're striving to be. But yeah, Tatuaje, Viaje, Padron, Illusion, all those guys. Oh, Skippy at Roma Craft, him and Mike Rosales.
Oh, Skippy!
Skippy!
I know about some Skippy.
Yeah, so I love those guys. Honduras, Caribbean. it doesn't take away from anything from the major brands, but it just for my profile and what I like, I really love boutique. I love the small batch stuff. And if I have to smoke something other than my own, it's usually one of those guys that I mentioned.
Just a couple of rapid fire questions here. Fletch wants to know, since you guys do not currently have any Lanceros in your portfolio,
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's
That's not true?
Well,
Which
it's
one?
not traditional Lancero.
Right. We that you guys are bringing up a sad thing for me here. We had a Connecticut Lancero that we still have. That was you mentioned earlier, Seth's Humidor. That was his.
That's right. He did do a review on that.
His number 6 cigar of the year back in 2012, and our reserve Lancero. And I think they are phenomenal. The problem is, there's a lot of people across the country that don't smoke those cigars. So we have actually limited those to private batch orders. I've got some shops across the country that we make those specifically for. But we, being a company as small as we are, we have to make what we sell. And unfortunately, that's not Lanceros and Panatellas and Coronas. I wish everybody loved those sizes as much as we do. Unfortunately, they don't. But our Lanceros, I mean, Seth put it much better than I could. He said, I challenge any other cigar manufacturer to make a better Connecticut Lancero. And to me, that was the the justification that I needed for that cigar. But we do have Lanceros, but they're very limited.
So I'll take full responsibility of this. I misread the question. He did not say that you didn't have. I was paraphrasing what he said, and that was not even the question that he remotely asked. I'm glad that you answered it, but you basically answered the question that he asked, and it kind of is, why are there so many? He references the limited edition Lanceros, which is, it seems odd to, like, you referred to smokers as the 1%. We tend to gravitate towards that stuff. We being the guys who come to Cigar Federation, who watch the show, who listen to the podcast, we gravitate towards smaller ring gauges and that type of stuff. But you're not the first person to tell us that we put a Lancero in the store and it doesn't sell. So to me and to all the people listening, not all the people, but most of the people listening, that's a hard thing to fathom. Like, to me, if I see a Lancero, I run out and grab it because I know it's going to be limited. So in a way, we're trained to know that it's going to be a limited edition. So I do apologize to Fletch for misreading his question. When we'll move, let me move on here. I've got 302 Jose, one of my favorites. He wants to know. He said, "Are Logan and Surgeon? This question's for you guys. He wants to know if you're currently wearing pants because you both seem to be very quiet over there."
As far as I'm going to stand up. That's.
It's a little hot in here, man.
It's hot in here.
Awesome.
He threw a state shirt there as well when he stood up.
Yeah, it looks like he's wearing a Drew Estate shirt.
Justin, why don't you take this chance to show off your shirt, man? We didn't get a chance to look at it.
All right, let's see here. Here we go. If I can angle this correctly. This is a line that we had a lot of success with. The Bomb Bomb line. A 4.5 by 3/4, and it was a great 30-minute cigar, like a dog walker cigar. Unfortunately, it fell in the same category as our Lanceros, and the way I explained this to Lou, he came to the office one day and was like, "Why are we not selling as many of the Bomb Bombs?" But I was at the Big Smoke in New York, and Lito Gomez loved them, and other people, and I said, Lou, us in the industry, cigar smokers, we time things. So if I have a 30-minute drive somewhere, I'm like, Bomb Bomb, that's what I'm smoking. Your typical cigar smokers, if they only have 30 minutes to smoke, they don't smoke. So we are going to take the success we had with that within the cigar community and launch our own line, the Bomb Bomb line. And it will have some different sizes, some different ring gauges. But it's another one of those things that, I mean, I absolutely love the stick. It's great, and people love it on a lunch break or if they're walking their dog or if you have a short commute. But it didn't translate to everybody that maybe smokes once or twice a week. But I'm excited about it. We're probably going to launch that first quarter of 2015.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
I'm getting just perusing the chat room here, and I'm getting some requests for a Cigar Federation exclusive Lancero. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but that's what the people want, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
We would have no problem with that.
That's another benefit of like I said, being vertically integrated. If the amount is correct, we can make just about anything. I've got a Presidente cigar, a Habano Presidente, that's an 8x50 that I make exclusively for a shop in Illinois and a shop in Virginia, and so we love those sizes. And a Lancero is something we could definitely do as an exclusive. That would not be a problem at all.
See, that's why you listen to the people, because good things happen. We'll see, guys. Pay attention. You might see the Lou Rodriguez Lancero in our shop at some point in the near future. Who knows? Let's see. Okay, so just one final question. Of all the Lou Rodriguez cigars, I keep wanting to say Lou Rod, but that's specifically one cigar.
Right.
Of all the different blends that you've got, what's your favorite pairing?
My favorite pairing, as in like a cigar and a adult beverage, or
Any kind of beverage.
man, that's a very good question. Man, that's a very good question. Every morning I have a Connecticut with a Grande Americano.
Nice.
That's my breakfast, and I usually smoke a Corona, which was rated 91 by Cigar Snob magazine, I must say. And my Grande Americano or my Venti iced black eye. With wine, I've found that our Maduros go very well with wine, with a Cabernet or a Malbec. Our Habano, because of the creaminess, I like to have a Habano with a Newcastle beer or a Guinness. Our reserve wine, because of the pepper, there's some unique pairings you have to have with that. I like some Johnny Walker with those, and let me see. Man, I don't know if I sound like a cigar aficionado or an alcoholic here.
No, it's all good. We support all of them.
If you admit you have a problem, Justin, as long as you don't admit you have a problem, you don't have a problem.
There you go. And yeah, so I think I think that kind of sums it up there. But we have very good pairings.
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, I'm smoking the Reserva. I'm definitely going to pair this with some Florida Caña next time and see how that works out. Logan, you want to do these giveaways real quick?
Yeah. So they're all emailing you, right?
Yeah, they can all email me, but I'm not getting just the winners are emailing me.
Oh, exactly. That's the only way.
I'm not going through 1,000 emails here.
All right. So let's do the 5-packs first. Let's do Jason Hill, big winner. Let's do CRA James, big winner. Let's do Harley Holmes, big winner. Let's do let's do Quinn Lindstrom, big winner. That's for the 5-packs.
So when you email me, tell me what you won.
Exactly.
Nobody's taking notes.
Let's do.
And so this is for the 10-count box.
This is for the 10-count box of Churchills. Let's do new guy, Gary.
Just plain Gary.
Yeah, just fucking Gary, man. And then for the 10-count box of Lanceros.
This is the grand prize, 10-count box and two of the
2, not 3, but 2.
Whoever wins those Lanceros really needs to cherish that 10 count because that's a very exclusive cigar from here going forward.
That's good to know.
Damn it, I wouldn't have gave it away. Let's do Buzz Ghoul.
Buzz. I like Buzz.
I know, man. I haven't seen him around, but he's there.
Yeah. Buzz, big winner. So Buzz wins the grand prize. Okay. So, guys, email me at rob@cigarfederation.com. You guys all know my email address. By the end of the night, if not, your prizes are forfeit, and they're probably going up to Canada.
Probably.
So, Justin, we're going to let you go, man. I had a lot of fun chatting with you. This was a good show. I apologize for misreading some of the questions, and Logan apologizes for just the general background noise that he's provided.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But no, we had an asshole in general, you know.
Just a fucking asshole. This fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
I've learned I have to deal with some assholes in this industry, so
it happens. It happens sometimes to the best of us.
I'm a lovable asshole, though. I'm lovable.
Are you?
Hey, man.
If I could just get Logan to email me back within a 72-hour time frame, my perception would be a little different.
I can say the same thing about you. I gotta go to fucking 7 to get you to email me, you son of a bitch. Dude, I work corporate America. I email people anybody. Rob, get me back on this.
I love you, Logan.
I don't mean to disagree with the guest, but Logan is one of the more prompt email returners in the world. And he's one of those people that if necessitated to reply all, he actually hits that button. I don't know what it is about this industry. Nobody knows what reply all means. Anyway, no, Justin, we appreciate it, man. We had a lot of fun. We'll look forward to meet you at IPCPR, and I know we had some sales, so we're going to be emailing you some sales too. So that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Kevin Jones just told me to tell you guys thank you. And
I'm a third-degree black belt.
Yeah.
Not a fifth-degree.
And he says he's a third-degree black belt, not an 8th-degree black belt. So
whip ass. That's all that matters.
What
that means is I think I could whip a 3rd degree's ass, but I don't know about a 5.
Yeah, 3rd degree. That ain't shit, right?
Exactly. If you're not at least 5th degree, then don't come talking shit to me.
You know what I mean? Like it's Monday. I can start training on Monday, and by Thursday, I'm a 3rd degree black belt, right?
Exactly.
That's true. But I'll be a 6 by then.
So we're gonna find out exactly how nice of a guy Kevin is at IPCPR when he and I arm wrestle.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. There you go. And I think a limited edition of the box of La Mano Negra goes to the winner. So.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, we'll split the box, man, because I'm about I'm 5'9" and about $165. So.
Let's do it.
We'll have a stop there to take some pictures of it too. So you know.
It'll be good. It'll be good. Cool, man. We appreciate you guys, and we will we'll be in touch as we get closer to IPCPR. And thanks again for taking the time. Guys, we appreciate you supporting the show as always. You know where to find us, CigarFederation.com. We will be back next week. We have 2 shows next week, don't we, Logan?
Yeah, we have Victor on Tuesday, and then on Thursday we've got Atelier.
Yeah, we've got Victor Vitale on Tuesday with the kind of a special announcement for all you guys, and then Atelier, which we've got Casper coming on. I never know how to say L'Atelier. I think I always say it wrong, but anyway, guys, we appreciate it, and everybody have a good weekend and stay safe.
Later, people.